hammered drunk.
Drunk trade of the week.
So this one, look, it's me. It's me. I did this. I have to
Was this really a
acknowledge-
drunk trade, or
Yeah, this really was.
Okay.
And shout out to JB Berry, by the way. Follow him on Twitter. Friend of the show, been on the show in the past. And we have this one. I want to throw it out here because it's so gross. And I often, if I'm doing drunk trades in the spirit of this show, especially, I want to pull back the curtain. I certainly don't always make good trades or even interesting trades a lot of the time. A lot of the time it looks like this. So here's what happened for you listeners at home. So this was 3 months ago, by the way. This is in a 10-team dynasty league, so a little bit different. It's also a start 2 tight end format. That's important for this. So you must start 2 tight ends every week, which is outlandish.
it is ridiculous?
It's interesting. It's different. That's kind of why I like this league, though. And it's super flex. Not that it matters for this trade, but I always like to throw that in. So here's what happened. 3 months ago, I was bored. I was bored as shit. We hadn't made trades in this league for a long time. We just had a kind of stagnant period. I think that happens with a lot of leagues where it's like, it's not every day you're going to see trades, but sometimes there will be, a month will go by, maybe 2 months will go by. And it was at that point, and I just said, screw it. We're doing this thing. So I started mass sending trades, and they were not interesting. Like this one. I sent away to JB. I sent Brandon Cooks, Noah Brown, who had had a couple of decent games before Michael Gallup got back, and Deion Jackson, who had had like one game where Jonathan Taylor was out. And here you go. So you can take him on the insurance policy for Jonathan Taylor. In response, I get Kenyon Drake. Boo. A.J. Dillon. I just really wanted a piece of A.J. Dillon. He was disappointing early in the season. And I said, he'll turn it around. And then I got Daniel Bellinger. This is fresh off of when he had his eye socket like blown up that week. And people were debating about if he was even going to come back this year. And I said, I don't care. He's young. This team is terrible. I'm doing the full rebuild thing. I'd already done that for a while leading up to this trade. And so I just said, I'll try this and see what happens. This was also when Brandon Cooks had that whole like, will he, won't he finish out the season with the Texans? Because that was some turmoil that we kind of just forgot about. So Dustin, be impartial here. How bad is this trade from both ends?
I think you summed it up great at the beginning when you're like, this is just kind of a whatever trade, because it's not exciting or sexy whatsoever. Seeing as how you are in a rebuild, I think I like it for you with getting Bellinger. I mean, he flashed this season. He had some good games. He's young. He's only going to improve in that offense, I believe. A.J. Dillon, he's good. If he gets full-time role at some point, or maybe shouldn't say full-time, majority of the carries, the backfield, he could be very fantasy relevant. Kenyon Drake, I mean, he looked good in spot duty to start the season. He was definitely startable early, but now just kind of whatever. I mean, Noah Brown, Deion Jackson, Brandon Cooks. Even now, end of the season when he was playing, it was still just kind of like he's fine as a flex play, but you're not guaranteed anything with him. So unless he changes teams and goes to like a contender that can actually use him, then I would be a little bit more into it. But yeah, I kind of like your side a little bit better. Just getting younger with Bellinger and Dillon, getting rid of Brandon Cooks, who never seems to have any sort of trade value. So, but like I said, you said it best. It's kind of a whatever trade.
This was a trade about nothing. This was a stopgap trade. What I'm pleased to report out of this trade is not what this was, not what I got in return, but what it spawned. It spawned a massive surge in trade activity. And that's, I think, the best thing that I could have gotten out of this.
Absolutely.
It reinvigorated the league a little bit. It felt good. I feel fine with it. Although I will say, just a postscript real quick. After this trade was done, JB sent me a message like 5 minutes later because it was in the turmoil of Brandon Cooks. He goes, Brandon Cooks just got traded to the Chiefs And I was still so drunk that I legitimately thought that had really happened. And it freaked me the hell out.